There comes a time on the awakening journey when you just don't feel like you fit in anywhere and you start questioning everything. You start questioning our systems and your relationships, your job, your life purpose, your identity. You start questioning the masks that you've worn, the roles that you've played, right? And we've all played these roles and worn these masks to keep ourselves safe. And most people think there's something wrong with them because all these things stop making sense. And so there's nothing wrong. You're at a threshold. You're realizing that those roles you've been playing, you've been in these agreements or these contracts, these trauma bonds, these survival strategies of shared wounding, right? You're in this liminal space, this gap, this void, where you're not quite sure what's happening over here because nothing's making sense and you're still not quite sure where you're going. And so you're in this space. And this space is a beautiful, beautiful space. It's a space where you can start coming home to yourself. But it requires deep presence and honesty and self-trust and truth. And it requires your nervous system to start coming online and coming back into safety, or maybe safety for the first time ever, right? As you start to recognize that this gap, it starts bringing up all the old wounding that maybe you've hidden or pushed down for years and years because it hasn't been safe. And so that with that comes sorrow, comes grief of who you thought you were, anger, feeling disconnected, deep tenderness for all the parts of you that you've avoided or the things you haven't seen. Comes with restlessness. Your identity is reorganizing itself. You're waking up to see things as they are, not as what we hope they would be. Trusting in systems that don't make sense. Because the awakening process, it releases all the falseness, the illusions, the foundations that have no stability. And so you realize you cannot bond in your relationships over false identities anymore, over the trauma bonding that once brought you close, over diluting your truth. That will not happen. Your soul won't allow it. It's not even a possibility anymore. You're not willing to stay in those unconscious dynamics. And you recognize the more you stay present and stay in your truth and allow the onion to unravel in the layers by layers, eventually something beautiful starts to happen and you start to align with your soul's truth and you start to become internally coherent and you have this body trust, a knowing, that self-respect, and you're walking in with your truth and you speak from your truth because that's the only way. And from that place, new connections naturally start to emerge and you start to connect with your soul family. You get to connect with the people that share the same resonance with you. And you might recognize that belonging isn't found. It's generated from within. It's deeply embodied within. And the cost of not belonging is that you can no longer abandon yourself. Because self-abandonment is one of the biggest violations there is. When we violate that and we abandon our truth for somebody else. And if you feel like you don't belong anywhere right now, I just want you to know that you are not lost. And you are not broken. And you're certainly not alone. You are learning how to belong to yourself. And that changes everything. My name is Stacy Musial, and I invite you to walk with me on this journey. You can find me at awakenyoursovereignsoul.com. Much love.